we're talking evolution, particularly evolution in the Big Pilot. And we know that the Big Pilot was designed in the 1940s originally and was always a functional tool. That said, it's become an unexpected design icon over the years, and we've got a number of key milestones to discuss in this film today. David, good morning, how are you?
Good morning, I'm doing well. How are you, Justin?
Very good, very good. Lovely to see you, even at a distance. David, you've got a couple of key watches there in front of you from the Big Pilot family. So give us a quick overview from the very early to the present day.
Yes, of course, and you named it. I mean, it's, I would say, a compilation of milestones in the evolution of the Big Pilot. So maybe one question all over the world wanted to know why this watch is called Big Pilot. So the reason is this: we have the Big Pilot from the 1940s. You said it, it's originally a tool watch. It was a watch for the navigators, so it has to easily be legible, and of course it has to be highly precise. And then with an interesting story, and I think we have to go in that a little bit later on. This is the famous Big Pilot from the 21st century, I would call it, in the year 2002 launched. The Big Pilot reference 5002. Which was in those days a very, very, very interesting watch in the world of watchmaking. And last but not least, 2021, a new generation, a new chapter in the Big Pilot's history. We have here a beautiful 43 millimeters Big Pilot in front of us.
And I think one of the key messages here looking at that is that the design ethos, the DNA has always been there, but it's also evolved over the years. And if we touch on maybe the 5002, it came out in 2002, and it was probably something of a surprise to a lot of people at the time.
Absolutely, and maybe also a surprise for IWC, because we have to look a little bit back when it started. So the project idea was born like in the mid of the 1990s, and IWC has got in the pipe the famous 5000 caliber that you know maybe from the Portuguese family in those days. And there was also from the beginning a variant with a center second. And so IWC were thinking how we can have a big watch where this movement is fitting in. And of course we should pay attention to the tradition of our house. So the idea was born to go back to the design of the Big Pilot, this tool watch, and combine it with all that features that we know from our over 85 years history of pilot's watches. So for example, what is very interesting with the new Big Pilot watch from 2002, we have a soft inner iron cage that protects the movement, which is of course first introduced with the Mark 11, as our collectors know. And also a date window, because I think this is very convenient when you have the watch on daily life, and the automatic movement that I was mentioned with maybe one key feature of IWC, it's the Peloton self-winding mechanism. And yeah, talking about the size, I think this was really a revolution in 2002. Nobody would ever expect that a watch with 46 millimeters in diameter could have such success. And yeah, it became an icon and cool story for us.
And one of the key features, of course, was the slow beat caliber, because the original B watch was a navigator's tool, as you say, and designed to be very accurate.
Yeah, so of course the new generation, the generation of the 21st century Big Pilot also was very, very accurate. But you're quite right. I think this is also very important for our collectors there. We have with the first generation of Big Pilots variants of the movement. So IWC was really, let's see, checking which beat is the best for the movement. At the end of the day, it became the 2.8 hertz. But at the beginning, we tried it with a slow beat. An interesting feature, I mean, this was the same like the original caliber 52 with the hand-wound head. So maybe a little bit also a similarity.
And I have to ask, David, the early Big Pilots there didn't just come in steel. I know that having seen a photo of Michael Jordan wearing a white gold variation, there were variations even in those early days.
Yes, absolutely, and this is also it's interesting to see because platinum was, for example, what the collectors call the Jordan edition, because when he was meeting the U.S. president, he had the blue dial Big Pilot on his wrist. But nevertheless, because this blue in those days was linked to platinum with IWC, some of our customer asked, okay, we don't want to show that we have a platinum version, so also platinum versions were sold with a black dial for understatement reasons. And these are also very rare on the collector's market. So interesting thing if you are looking for a special timepiece in your collection.
It's interesting how the Big Pilot frame, it's gone from functionality to design and cultural icon, and it's been used in a whole different variety of variations. The new 2021 43mm that we have in front of you there, not only have we seen the dial adjust slightly and maybe more back to the purists' take on a dial layout, similar to the B-Watch, but we've also seen the reduction in size, the removal of the power reserve and the date, and of course the addition of the bracelet.
Yeah, I think what you said, this is maybe one of the most interesting and also revolutionary features that we have now with the new edition with the 43mm, because it's the first time that we have a stainless steel bracelet in the collection.
David, as always, thank you very, very much for sharing your insights. It's absolutely fascinating, and it's I'm sure not the last time we'll be discussing the Big Pilot in the coming days and weeks. So thank you very much for your time, and we'll speak soon.
Thank you.
So there you have it, folks, the evolution and the key milestones of the iconic Big Pilot.